Okay. Hey everybody, we are live inside the Style Lab, so welcome. Today we have an amazing resource. As you know, when I'm here in my office, I am interviewing experts, and when I find someone who is as helpful as my guest is here today, I have her on already because we were having a little technical difficulty. I want to share it with all of you guys here in the Style Lab Club here. So my special guest today is a leisure travel advisor. Her name is Wendy Boverini, and we have been working together for the last several months planning my trip to Spain. Yay! Wendy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, you have just been a lifesaver for me and my family. We got the opportunity to plan this 2 week trip to Madrid, Valencia, and Barcelona. You really helped me hone in on what cities, even outside of Madrid, which is where we're going for an authors conference. And also bringing kids, it just has layered in a whole nother, sort of worry factor for me. Not for Joe, he doesn't seem to care, but so I have just really had such a gratitude and appreciation for your expertise and your relationships. So I'd like for everybody to hear from you a little bit about what you do, how you help people, how you got into this amazing work, and then we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with traveling, with updates in procedures and such, because I know that you just returned from Spain, which is such an advantage for me to get to have your tips firsthand. And then I'm also going to share a couple of accessories because right now I am doing inside this group here a special series on accessories, and I want to highlight which ones to take for travel. So I'll get into that as well. So with that, I would like for you to take it away, Wendy, a little bit about yourself. It'd be
Yeah.
lovely.
Thanks again for having me. I appreciate that. It's a great opportunity to talk, with you and your clients and share a
Mhm.
little bit about, what I enjoy doing for my business. I'm a solopreneur. I work for myself.
Mhm.
I'm affiliated with an agency out of Kansas City. And prior to getting into the travel planning business, I was in the corporate and consulting world doing employment tax consulting and management for businesses and the consulting clients. I did that for a long, long time, 30 years,
Hmm.
downtown commuting. It's so bizarre to me to think I actually did that for so long.
I
I
didn't know that about you.
Yeah, yeah, a long time. And right towards the end of that career, I've always loved to travel and I was always planning travel and giving hints and tidbits to my friends. But I always wanted to get into the business. I just didn't know how to do it.
Mhm.
And I did finally, right towards the end of my corporate career, I had an opportunity to partner with a brick and mortar agency out of Edison Park, actually, and they provided me the tools and the training so I could get started in this business. I
Okay.
plan leisure travel, as you indicated, and my focus mainly is Mexico, Caribbean, and European travel. I did a ton of European travel planning prior to the pandemic,
Mhm.
but then once the pandemic hit, that kind of, came to a screeching halt and then nobody
Yeah.
was going anywhere. So I focused a lot on Mexico because it was one of the countries where you didn't have to test to get in.
Mhm.
You could get in without any testing. And so I did many site visits at the resorts in Cancun and the Riviera Maya. And I partnered with I networked with my travel partners in those resorts. And so I was there probably 6 or 7 times in 18 months. It was a nice breakup to the
Yeah.
mundaneness of being stuck in a house, right?
Oh
Avoiding
yeah.
where.
I bet a lot of people were jealous.
Yeah, well,
I would have been.
there were a lot of people traveling there, but not it was nice to go places where it wasn't capacity crowd.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that was kind of fun. As of this past January, when the world started opening up a bit, people started feeling more comfortable with
Mm-hmm.
traveling other places, not only Mexico and the Caribbean, because they could get there anyhow, but actually going to Europe.
Yeah.
Um, People, when I was there 2 weeks ago, it was busy, and the people, the tour operators, the hoteliers, they're all thrilled to
Mm.
have people back.
I'm
And
sure. Yeah.
yeah,
It's their
all the
livelihood.
tour
Yeah.
guides, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's for some of the people I met, it was their first like tour that they were guiding since everything
Mm.
opened up. So they
Wow.
were really excited to have people back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but with all of that means everything's crowded, right? I
Yeah.
mean, pack your patience when you travel in
Mm.
airports, with hoteliers, at the restaurants, everywhere you go, people are struggling to get up to speed with staffing.
Mm.
Pricing is, I found Spain to be very economical, but they still have the same issues, or are experiencing the same issues we are here in the United States with, ramping up their staffing and
Mm.
pricing. Everything's a little bit more expensive, food products and things like that.
Mm.
But yeah, things are very crowded. People want to travel, so a lot of people think, oh, I can wait till the last minute to plan travel. You
Mm.
can't anymore
Mm.
because inventory is very low. And if you're
Mm.
thinking of traveling in the fall or for the holidays of this year, you better get on it now
Yeah.
because inventory is low and everything's really expensive. There are no
Mm-hmm.
fire sales.
Mm-hmm.
There are no deals. I'm going to Croatia in August. I'm going to do a yacht cruise in
Ooh.
August.
Sounds
And
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is a bucket list item for me. And
Okay.
I just booked my airfare and I was in shock on how expensive it was to
Oh
fly
boy.
out of Chicago, which is a major hub, right?
Right.
It
Right.
was it was very, very, very expensive.
Oh
So
boy.
yeah,
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
things are not as inexpensive as they were before.
Right. And then we also have, fuel. The cost of fuel, of course, is going to affect. We've kind of been hearing that. I've got a family trip that we do every year in August to Portland, Oregon, and it's never a very inexpensive trip anyway. As far as for whatever reason, airfare from Chicago to Portland is always higher than I think it should be. Um, and I feel like maybe we could get that done before we leave for this trip because I feel like every day you wait could be more. It could just
Well,
add. I mean, do you think that's an
what
issue or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I have a business trip planned to the Dominican Republic in August as well. And that airfare, I watched, and this is what I do, and I
Hmm.
recommend that other people do it too. You have to watch the airfares every twice a day. Go out
Okay.
there and just check because it does fluctuate.
Hmm.
Sometimes it just stays pretty steady, and then you'll see it drop a little bit, and then it's like gambling. I'm like,
Yeah.
should I jump on it?
Yeah. I mean, is it going to get better or worse or yeah? That is. I think that's part of what adds to the if you will, anxiety of travel. Is the idea is so charming. Oh, to get to go away. Even if you have set aside the funds, which obviously you have to do, but it's that like okay, am I going to overpay? Am I that adds to that. I know that we did when we were planning this trip to Spain. Um, there was a little bit of a glitch in that when I had missed a date. We were trying to accommodate one of our kids wanted to see a bullfight, and so we were trying to accommodate. And so I was like, oh, we can shift the days. And when I came back to you with like, hey, can we move it back to the original? You're like, well, we can try, but it's going to be expensive. I mean, I was shocked at how just trying to make a change, especially closer to the departure,
Right.
was it was so cost prohibitive. We just decided to leave the plans the way they were,
And it'll be
and
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, it's
It'll be
still gonna be
amazing.
amazing.
It'll be
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, it's crazy how pricing is all over the place, and the closer
Hmm.
you get to your departure date, well, it's because inventory. It's like it's a lot supply and demand, right?
Right.
There's no supply, and they can price it any way they want to, and somebody's gonna buy it, right?
Right.
Um,
So like people coming like service industries coming back online after being shut down, meaning lack of supply. So some hotels are just not going to have as many rooms open if they don't have staff. Things like that. Is that what you mean by?
Well, I think that might be one of them. Or some hotels, what they're doing is they're not cleaning the rooms every day because they don't have cleaning staff. So if you
Right.
want fresh towels or if you want your rooms cleaned, you have to go downstairs to the desk to request it.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Mm-hmm.
all hotels are doing that, but that's kind of some of the things that they're doing. I
Mm-hmm.
know that in Mexico, they're really struggling because um, when the pandemic hit, they were closed down for a bunch of months,
Yeah.
and so everybody that was working at the resorts went back to their homes. They don't
Mm-hmm.
have unemployment in Mexico, so they had
Right.
to find jobs.
Go do
So when they
something
opened
else.
up again, they wanted
Mm-hmm.
to get these people back, and they were like, I can't come back. I have a job now.
Right.
So,
They change industries. I mean, that's certainly been the case with all kind of entertainment and restaurants and such. But
right, right.
yeah. Uh,
So,
so
bringing
yeah.
people back, you can find, and we being solopreneurs, we don't have that issue of trying to
Mm-hmm.
find competent people to do their jobs, but they're trying to find people that will do their jobs
Yeah.
but they have to spend time to train them.
Right.
And it's a
It
struggle
adds.
for everybody.
It adds
Hmm.
to all of those things. But we don't want to discourage you from traveling, right?
No,
But it's something to
not at
keep in
all.
mind. Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah, no,
something to
and
keep in
it
mind.
goes
Yeah.
back to being very patient and kind to
Yes.
people.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's a please and a thank you goes a long, long way.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're
Mm-hmm.
traveling internationally to a country where English isn't their first language, learning how to say please and thank you
Right.
in that language it means a lot to people.
Yeah.
And actually, they probably understand English better than we understand their language, but
Mm-hmm.
that means a lot to them that you even tried to do that.
Yeah, it's just being considerate and taking an interest in their culture as well. So,
Correct.
um,
Yeah.
yeah. And then as far as like traveling, you mentioned Iberia. This is the airline that we're going to be traveling with as well into Spain. Did you find that there were? You mentioned the masks. Can't remember if that was the first broadcast or this one, but I think it was the first one. So they're still wearing masks throughout the entire
Well, when I flew
flight,
out,
or
the Spain still had their mask mandate in place,
okay.
so we were required to wear masks on the plane because they're a
Hmm.
Spanish-owned airline.
Hmm.
While I was in Madrid, I think it was April 20th, they dropped their mask
Okay.
mandate.
Hmm.
So I'm assuming, but they'll tell you at the airport whether or not you
Right.
have to wear a mask.
Right.
Because when I flew home on American Airlines, and our mask mandate had been gone, so I didn't have to wear a mask on
Right.
American.
And then when it comes to vaccination cards, things like that, I know that I've been doing some research for a client trip. I'm taking clients to Paris in the fall. And I have been researching just the whole vaccination situation with getting to museums and things like that. So I know that in Paris, they're at the moment they're not requiring card vaccination cards to be shown. Is that the same in other places or?
Yeah,
Um,
every
mhm.
country's handling it a little bit differently.
Mhm.
But for the most part, European countries, they're they loosen their requirements or their protocols
Mhm.
more quickly than we have. And actually, a lot of countries, you don't even have to test to get in their countries, whereas we're still requiring people to test to get back into the
To get
United
back,
States.
yeah, there's a protocol on that we have to follow
And
to
but
come back.
I always would carry my vaccination card with me
Hmm.
just in case.
Doesn't hurt. Yep. Hmm.
And or at least I would bring the hard copy just in case
Hmm.
they require that. And I always had masks with me.
Hmm. Yeah.
I didn't wear my KN95 all the time,
Hmm.
but I did wear it once in a while. It was never required anywhere. I just had it. But I
Right.
did wear cloth masks as well.
Okay.
Not everywhere in Spain requires them. I think it's just like
Right.
maybe in public transportation, maybe in the
Uh-huh.
museums,
Yeah,
but
and where
so
you
nice.
might want to wear it anyway. I mean, even just when
Well,
you're in a
yeah,
crowded
with
place.
numbers
Yeah.
are rising, right? And now I will tell you that I had a friend who was in Spain while I was there. She wasn't on my trip, but she was in a different one. She tested positive while we were there, and
Mm.
Spain does not require you to quarantine when you test positive.
Hmm. Oh, interesting.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
But there, there is a require. The airline may require a certain number of days before you can get back onto one of their planes.
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of
Okay.
nice to have a plan B. In because you're a client, if that would ever happen, God forbid, you would just let me know and we would take care of that. And
Yeah.
there's a way to get you a letter to get on the plane and all. So we would
Uh-huh.
definitely take care of that.
Okay. I'm glad you said that. Good to know.
Yeah. Well, hand sanitizer, it's like I gave you some hand sanitizer yesterday.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Use it, use it,
I
use
love
it.
I love the little goodie bag that Wendy brought me with the maps. Going to be really helpful.
Oh, yeah.
Even just like to screenshot where we're going so that we don't look like tourists with a map, because we
Yeah.
got to be on a data plan to, especially with teenagers. It's going to be really interesting to like restrict their data use because of the cost, right? So,
Yeah. I just got my telephone bill from that trip. So, and I
yeah.
did the internet, I do the international plan with AT&T. It's
Hmm.
a $10 a day plan, but,
Okay.
and I think it's unlimited text and talk, but you have a data. I don't know what it is. I paid it.
For
It
the
was like,
Wi-Fi. Yeah.
yeah, but it was only me. So,
Yeah, yeah, and we've got Joe's in charge of that, so we've got something. But
oh, that's good.
so
Yeah.
these are all such good insights about planning travel, especially just I think the further away out you are, the more options, the more you know.
Pricing.
The pricing is going to be better, those kinds of things. So I would love to have anybody have any questions who are on here, and even if you're watching this on the replay, please reach out to Wendy and ask, for any questions that you have for her about traveling wherever, even if it's outside of her norm. But I'm sure she'd be happy to hop on a call. And you do have a calendar link, so I'll make sure that you put that into the comments, and so people can reach out to you with your contact info to learn.
I'm fairly active on social media. I mean, I'm not crazy out there, but I am on social media. So it's
Yeah.
Travel with Wendy B on Facebook and Instagram,
Mhm.
and my website is travelwithwendyb.com. So people can get me any of those avenues,
Yeah.
and I'm more than happy to chat with them. So yeah.
Great, 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 great. Well, before we wrap up, is there anything else that you wanted to share with us, Wendy? Just
I just things that I'm, kind of and I see trending is obviously Europe, and people are going to Portugal, Spain, France, and Italy a lot. That's where I see people going. Iceland's a
hmm
biggie too, although
hmm
I'm not a big fan of cold and snow. So,
yeah,
but some people are. It's supposed to be beautiful, so
yeah.
I might have to get there someday. But I do, if you go out onto my website, I do have a couple of group trips that I have going
hmm
on right now. There's one October of this year on Ama Waterways River Cruise. It's a Taste of Bordeaux, round trip Bordeaux. It's a
hmm
wine cruise. And then I do have a women's getaway trip for November of this year in the Riviera Maya at Secrets Maroma if people are interested in getting away with their girlfriends just to kind of hang out before the holidays. So, yeah, I'd love to
Love
have that.
it. I know.
Yeah.
One day I'm going to get to go to that. It coincides with our authors conference in Vegas. It's the same week.
Well,
So
before I plan the next one, I'll have to ask you what the date would work for you if you
yeah,
think
yeah, because I want to come to that one.
oh,
It
yeah.
sounds so
It's amazing.
amazing.
We had so much fun last year.
Uh, yeah.
I had 12 people in 8 rooms, and 12 women in 8 rooms, and we
Yeah.
were at Unico 2087, which is an amazing resort in the Riviera.
I want to
And
go.
yeah, it
It
was
sounds
nice.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much, Wendy, for being on with us. I'm going to show, I've been wearing one of the accessories that I think is a
Oh,
good piece to bring because it's so simple. It's just a gold beaded necklace. And one of my girlfriends and fellow creative collaborators, Peggy Goodman Collection, she makes these. It's just a really good piece for every day. It's lightweight and so a good one for travel. And then I have this really cool fanny pack that comes from another local Oak Park boutique called Celeria Veneta. I think, Wendy, you might know them.
I do, yeah.
All of their leather goods are imported directly from Italy. The OG of environmental leather production, as I like to say. Anyway, this is actually unisex. I think it's originally marketed to men, but I will wear it in the front crossbody like this so that I have
Good idea.
protected. Certainly will not keep my passport in there. It will be in the hotel room where it belongs. And then I might even still wear a money belt. That's what the kids and Joe will be wearing, a money belt. Just kind of, I know, to ward off any invitation from pickpocketers, which I know that that's kind of more of a thing at the moment. It always has been, but I know that there's always alerts to keep your belongings out of sight. So so those are the two things that I'm recommending, as well as when it comes to shoes, I always bring a chic pair of Birkenstocks because you're walking so much, cobblestones, and of course only a carry-on. I mean, I only ever travel just with a carry-on because I need to keep my life simple. But for those of you guys who are watching who want more tips on packing, I do have Pack with Purpose handbook that I published 2 years ago. That is just has lots of resources, including packing lists for various different kinds of travel. So this was based on clients that I took shopping, or just we planned all of their outfits in their closets for their specific trips. Like one of them was to Petra, actually. So one of my clients who was like, what am I going to wear when I have to be covered up but it's going to be hot? And so her whole packing list is in the book. So anyway, so thank you again for joining us. And Wendy, thank you to my special guest here, who is, as I said, is a wonderful expert and can bring some calm to your potential travel chaos. So thanks again. And please, guys, reach out to Wendy. And we'll see you next time. We'll see you, well, the next time I'm live, I'll probably be overseas in España. So, or at least I'll be posting pictures of what we're doing. So stay tuned.
Oh, that's awesome. I can't wait. Thank you.
Thanks, Wendy.
Bye.
Bye-bye.